Hello everybody, this is Gretchen Hidell and I am live tonight on Facebook. It's our Monday night date and it is Monday night on September 14th. I am Gretchen Hidell, full-time astrologer, life coach, NLP, Reiki master, so much more. And I'm here Monday night with you all. I missed last Monday night because it was Labor Day. I didn't miss it. I actually took it off. And so welcome everybody who is joining, and we have a lot to go over because I'm going to talk a little bit about stuff that kind of happened last week, and then also cover what is going to be coming up on the week of September 14th until Sunday on September 20th. So welcome everybody who's joining. Go ahead and please like and share with your friends, and post below your astrological sign. I love hearing everybody's astrological sign. Date night with the stars, Monica said. That's right, instead of dancing with the stars. I see what you were doing there, girl. Jackie, Aquarius, hello. Scorpionic, Mr. Corbin, Scorpionic in all things. So welcome. And so if you're just joining me tonight live, or if you're watching a pre-recorded version, or if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, welcome. Please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you do that little bell thing so that you can receive updates and posts by me, and then that way you'll always be in the know. And so let's talk a lot about a little bit about what happened last week, and then we'll talk about this week, and then I'm going to be taking questions and pulling cards for those of you. Juliet said Taurus with Libra rising here. Welcome. And so welcome everybody that's joining. Yes, Juliet said rising. Yep. Okay, so Mars turned retrograde last week. Oh my goodness, in Aries. Okay, so we are officially in Mars retrograde. I've been kind of pre-warning you all. Mars retrograde was coming. It's coming. It's coming. Oh my, it's coming. Mars is going to be in Aries until January. Usually Mars is in each sign like a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. And basically it moves pretty quickly through the zodiac signs, except for Mars now is going to be retrograde in its home sign of Aries. So Mars is the ruler of Aries, and Mars retrograde is going to be in Aries. And so this is a double bubble, like a double extra extra Aries energy, everybody. Yay, you know. Mars is the god of war, okay? And so Mars is considered to be a personal planet, okay? So meaning that it's closest to the earth, and that means we feel it more strongly, basically. Mars is definitely, I'm an Aries myself, and I will tell you, I felt it last week. I took a little time off last week because I was, just I had a planned time off, but then I had an autoimmune flare. And so, Mars is inflammation. Mars is blood and blood pressure in the body. Okay, it's bleeding. If you have surgery, Mars transits can be bleeding. Mars is headaches. Okay, anything to do with the head area. So it doesn't have to be necessarily a headache. It could be vertigo. It could be, TMJ or some kind of a thing like that. I mean, it can be stuff with eyesight. It can be stuff with sinuses. And so it is a thing, it's a lot. And so Mars retrograde in Aries, and especially Aries is the head area, okay? It's anything to do with the head area. And so we will be feeling this Mars retrograde. It's going to be the total retrograde with Mars is going to be 9/9 to 11/13. So we have a while with Mars retrograde. It only goes retrograde every 2 years, so amen for that. We don't have to really, deal with this retrograde stuff very often with Mars. But when it hits hard, and it's hitting really extra hard this time because it's in Aries, its own sign. So there's that. Now, for 1 month between 10/13 and 11/13, Mercury is going to be retrograde at the same time that Mars is retrograde. So I'm giving you all the heads up. We have 1 month really to prepare for Mercury retrograde is starting. Heads up next month on October 13th. So for that for that retrograde, it's going to be a double Mars and Mercury's retrograde. Plus all the outer planets are still somewhat retrograde as well. Jupiter just went direct, thank God. But you know, we still have other planets that are retrograde. So there's a lot of things going on right now. So Mars is not an ideal time to have elective surgeries. Okay, so you know, if you're planning having a procedure, you're planning on having a surgery, it's said not to be a great time to have an elective surgery during that time. Corbin said you had an inflamed tooth and a root canal. Oh, that's ouchy. Yeah, inflammation. It's all that inflammation and pain. Mars is pain. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Another person said, Marianne said, big headache and sinus flare for days. I've had sinus flare, and I had an autoimmune flare up because I ate something I think that irritated my system, and I was just, last week I was a little bit down for the count. I was hurting basically. When I get an autoimmune flare up, I just am in a lot of pain. So basically, I took a lot of Advil last week. That was kind of a thing. Jane Moon Wolf, hello, Taurus with Capricorn baby, so welcome. And so what does Mars retrograde mean for us? So Mars is our action, it's our gumption, it's our get up and go, it's our motivation, it's our drive and our ambition. So what happens when it's going backwards, when it's going retrograde? Okay, well, it means we're not quite as motivated, quite as ambitious, quite as driven. I mean, we have to kind of, especially the week that it switches, like last week, it just switched and, you know, it stops, like I say, it stops and then it starts to go backwards. So, I don't know if anybody felt that lack of motivation or even just a tiredness last week. But I certainly did feel that, and maybe some of you have felt it as well. And go ahead. Hi, everybody who's joining. Welcome, and like and share, because that helps to spread the good word. So there's that. So we have to kind of be more internally focused and more internally driven during this Mars cycle. That's basically kind of what it comes down to. Mars is also, we can't talk about Mars without sexuality. You know, there's that old adage, you know, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So Venus is our sensuality. Mars is our sexuality. I don't know if, I think his name's John Gray, if the author of that book, if he knew anything really about the planets. I never actually read the full book. So I don't know if anybody can comment on that, but basically that's what the deal is. Mars is our sexuality. Mars is conquest and things that are associated with the archetypal, you know, male, you know, sort of stuff, you know, but of course we all have a little mixture of male and female in all of us. But Mars is more about like domination and, you know, just all that kind of sort of stuff that's competition and conquering and fighting and all that stuff. Mars is the god of war. So we might have a review of things we have to fight for, things we have to do, what's our drive, what's our motivation, and sometimes we start fighting for things, sometimes we have a drive for things, sometimes we have motivation for things, and then there's like, why in the hell are we doing this? You know, like, why am I even doing this? You know, and Mars retrograde is a time where we rethink things, or we re-experience things to like tweak things and fix things and adjust things. So when we think about tweaking and fixing and adjusting our drive, our motivation, what are we putting all of our energy to? I always say Mars is like hitting the gas pedal in your car. It's the accelerator. It's like, yes, let's go. It's like the furnace in your house, you know, it's like powers it up and gets it going. Makes it nice and warm. So what are we doing, you know, with Mars retrograde? It's like, I don't know, like we're losing some of our drive, but also we're going, why are we doing this? You know, and this is a time to rethink, you know, where do we hemorrhage energy in our life? We all have time wasters and energy wasters and just different things where we waste, you know, maybe some of our drive, some of our ambition. And some people are saying, thank God for sexuality. That is amen to that, right? So we have sexuality. This is the planet of sexuality and how we express our sexy and passion. You know, it's just passion in general. And it can be passion for a job, passion for a person, passion for a pet, passion for your home, or whatever, wherever Mars falls within your astrological chart. You know, I'm always saying, where does Mars fall? And basically what's happened is Mars went almost all the way to the end of Aries. So we made it through one full Aries cycle and then went retrograde. Now it's going all the way back through Aries again. And then after it goes direct on November 13th, it's going to go all the way back through Aries again. So we're getting like the windshield wiper, I call it, in Aries, and we're getting so wherever Aries falls within your astrological chart. Now, Aries is a fire sign, and it's also a cardinal sign. So if you are one of the other fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or if you're one of the other leaders or cardinal signs like Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, you will be feeling this. And by the way, so this is kind of not such great news, I'm sorry to say. Aries is squaring Capricorn. Aries and Capricorns naturally don't totally get along, unless if you're, let's say, an Aries and you have a lot of earth in your chart, or you're a Capricorn with a lot of fire in your chart, then you would get along better. I'm personally an Aries with my Mars in Capricorn, so I get this whole dynamic. So but they're considered to be square, which is like, think of squaring off. It's not quite, it's like a little contentious there, because both are bosses. You know, Aries likes to be a boss, likes to be in charge. Capricorn's a boss, likes to be in charge. And then you're like, you know, and you're trying to just square off. Capricorn wants to be like, let's make a plan, let's slow down. You know, the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. Let's make a plan. Let's slow down. Let's think things through. Let's have all the steps. And Aries is like, sometimes we kind of can go off half-cocked and just sort of like, yeah, let's just do this. And then that sometimes doesn't work. And Capricorn's like, you're reckless and, you know, you're kind of a jerk and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And Aries is like, well, you're too old and slow. So I'm just saying. And then these two, this is how they kind of operate. Okay. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about the energy of these two planets. And so that's basically what's happening. And so Aries is going to square all of those planets in Capricorn: Pallas Athena, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And that's why I've been talking about how contentious or weird this fall is going to be, is largely because of Mars squaring all of those planets. Like, it's almost like our ambition, our drive, our motivation is getting like, you know, kind of stopped or worked out, you know, with this Capricorn energy. Now, I just said, I'm a person who embodies both. I'm an Aries, you know, sun, and I have a bunch of planets in Aries. And then I also have Mars in Capricorn. So how I act is Capricorn in a lot of ways, but then really my total self is more Aries. And so I have a little bit of both. So sometimes Aries needs to slow down. I mean, stop going so reckless. And, you know, Aries, you know, we can be very abrupt and very short and very kind of, you know, a little contentious. And then Capricorn sometimes needs to speed up, you know. Capricorn, like, you just got to make a decision and do this thing. Like, you just got to, like, sometimes you don't need a plan. You just need to just do it and dive into it. And so if these two could just sort of work it out and like blend a little bit, and you know, each of them give and take a little bit. But the problem is they tend to be signs that are both #bosses. So that's the problem. Both want to be in charge, and this is how the astrological skies above are playing out. So that's kind of a thing. Let's see here. Olive said Aquarius moon. So romantically related, yes. Sarah Chase, what if I am 421? You're on the border of Aries, and your boss is Capricorn Scorpio. Yeah, you've been butting heads, right? Exactly. That's exactly what I'm just talking about. Is that you probably do have a lot of planets in Aries because you're considered to be like more of a cusp baby, and you would be kind of squaring off with your Capricorn boss. Capricorn likes to be in charge. Aries likes to be in charge. Linda Goodman, I don't know if you guys remember Linda Goodman, the late great Linda Goodman. She wrote that really thick book in the 70s called Sun Signs. And she wrote a lot about how Aries and Capricorns romantically are pretty selfish people, and like if both of them would just stop focusing on themselves for a minute, they could like get along. That's kind of the way she wrote about it. I loved Linda Goodman, by the way. I was a big fan of her. She herself was an Aries as well, which is kind of interesting. So with Mars retrograde, slow down, okay, and watch your inflammation. So it's not only just fire, it's not only just, inflammatory, when we get flared up, and when we get fired up and get going, we need to take a breather, we need to take a break, and we need to kind of just chill out. So anger issues could come up now during Mars retrograde, but also just like more or less a reevaluation of like, where do we hemorrhage energy and how can we be more efficient with our energy? Sometimes we waste a lot of energy with Mars, and while it's good and it helps us, sometimes we're just like, on the rat race, with Mars. And so we want to slow down, okay, a little bit, and kind of just kind of think things through, we'll say. Jane said, oh, my Capricorn baby is totally #boss baby. Yes, exactly. So welcome everybody who is joining. And so we're going to be under this now for almost 2 months. Okay, a little over 2 months. And so, we're going to have lots of, I'll keep talking about Mars retrograde going into this, and sort of talking about how does that affect you. And I have a little curl that's misbehaving back here. How does that affect you, and where are you wasting your energy? Okay, and we might have a bunch of fights. Okay, heading into this, we even once we get into Libra season, which is going to be next week. We're already going to be in Libra season. I feel like we just got into Virgo season, but we're already going to be going into Libra season. Libra and Aries oppose each other. So then we're going to add that. We're going to add opposition energy to Mars. Mars is really being challenged. So it's really, if you think about it, it's our energy, our drive, and our motivation, and our sexuality right now is being challenged. And so, Aries, speaking like a true Aries myself, challenge accepted, okay? I'm just knocking on wood. Challenge accepted, but yeah, that's basically what's happening. Is poor Mars is getting beat up right now, and Mars, when you think about anger and aggression, could definitely flare up fires. Okay, when the Mars line went through Australia, that's when there was a lot of fires in Australia. So that is a lot of fire energy, and also that the protests and the riots and the different things that have been happening, that's going to flare up some of that stuff too. And of course, we're getting into cold and flu season and all that kind of stuff. So that's a thing. So who does get along with Aries? A lot of people get along with Aries. All the fire signs, all of the air signs really get along well with Aries. So because Aries is definitely, and then obviously it depends, people ask me that stuff all the time, like here's my sun sign, like let's say my sun sign's Taurus, what does Taurus get along with? Well, I could name all the things that get along with Taurus, but if your let's say moon is in a different sign, or your rising sign's in a different sign, or your Venus sign, or your Mars sign. By the way, Mars is who you're sexually attracted to. So if you guys know where your Mars is in your chart, just that sign, you will know who you are sexually attracted to. I already said mine earlier, so I won't reveal anymore. But whoever your Mars sign is, you'll feel a pull. And it's interesting, I had a client, we just did a reading recently, and we were looking, and all of her exes, this person's exes was like 2 or 3 exes with almost the same birthday. It was like within like a couple days, and I'm like, honey, you are dating your Mars sign, because when I looked at the chart, that was the birthday would have fallen around that person's, the sun sign, that person's sun sign would have been around her Mars placement. And I was like, you go for the chemistry and the sexual pull with your partners. And that was basically the deal. But then they always ended up fighting because Mars is fighting. So she's picking her Mars archetype. But again, you got to have other planets and other placements that, you know, there's a more holistic thing than just one. You can't just look at one. And so Andrea said, challenge accepted, get along with Aries. Danielle, you're always talking about Duran. Okay, let's see here. Somebody else had wrote it something and I missed it. Now I can't find it. Okay. It's like all of my exes who live in Texas. Yes, exactly. Like sometimes we date our moon person, or sometimes we date a Venus person, or sometimes we pull in certain different people based on points in our astrological chart. And I can even tell you, I've dated my moon person a lot, and they tend to be people who were born like kind of towards the end of February. That's around my moon. And it's quite fascinating how you can look at that and look at someone's astrological chart and tell what dates, like what birthdays they would be attracted to. And the thing is, you can't really look for that. There's no way to look for that. Like you can't go on Match.com and be like, hey, were you born on this 3 days? You know, I mean, that's like hard to find that. But it's funny how organically it just happens all the time with all of us, by the way. This always happens, and I think it's pretty cool. So let's talk about this week, because we have a new moon baby coming up. Okay, on Thursday, on the 17th, new moon in Virgo, 25 degrees Virgo, so we're towards the end of Virgo. So if you're born, if your birthday is this week, happy birthday, first of all. But you're also going to get a new moon, especially if your birthday is on Thursday. Then you're definitely having a new moon year, and that's a really fun thing. So Virgo is all about perfectionism, okay? We can't talk about Virgo and not think about perfectionism. And so the moon is going to be at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, so earlier than that if you're on the West Coast. So what is that, 4 a.m. California time, Pacific time. And so that's going to be the new moon. So you could write your new moon manifestation list either the night before or that day on Thursday the 17th, okay? And that's going to be the new moon in Virgo. And so Virgo is all about perfectionism. Virgo is all about, it's an earth sign, it's a mutable sign, okay? So that's more go with the flow. But it is an earth sign, and it's definitely associated with health and wellness, actually, and discernment, okay? It's a very discerning new moon, finding life's right work, you know, that's kind of like the saying with that new moon, being discerning, going through your life and kind of looking at things, again, kind of what works and what doesn't. And focusing on the detail of things, you know, where Aries kind of starts things, we're not very good with finishing things, and we run in like kind of just, you know, oh, I'm just going to do this thing. Virgo is not like that at all. Virgo is like your to-do list and all the things that you need to do in your life. Virgo is definitely associated with like kind of precision and cleaning and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I don't like to pigeonhole my Virgos in an OCD way. I know a lot of astrologers write about how like it's almost like every Virgo has OCD, and I don't feel that that's the case. I feel that Virgos just tend to be a little, they have high standards, really like super high. So I picked out some stones that are very good for this Virgo new moon. And I'll talk more about the new moon manifestation list in a second. If you guys have any questions about this new moon, go ahead and post below. Lori said, you have no idea where your Mars is. You're super attracted to the wrong sign. Well, I told you, you're not attracted to your wrong sign. Your Mars, if I remember correctly, is in Leo, and you are married to a Sagittarius in Leo, and Sagittarius get along great. Pisces and Sagittarius is not so much, but you are attracted, you know, the fire goes with the fire. So that's the thing. And so, so there's that. Okay. And Danielle said maybe I should hang out with some Virgos. Well, you should, girl, because you're Virgo, I believe, rising sign. That is your rising sign, Danielle. Okay. So I'm going to talk about some of Virgo's different stones and attributes. So Virgo is all about digestion. Not fun stuff, okay? It's the gut and it's the intestines, okay? So gut health is definitely a thing with Virgos, being able to eat certain foods, being able to digest them well, and Virgo tends to be a gut health kind of thing. It is said that in astrology, like Virgos are very good at healing, helping, taking vitamins, like it's all that kind of stuff like associated with healthcare and being health conscious. So there is a healthy kind of vibe to this particular new moon. So if you have a new health regimen you want to start, I cannot think of a better time to start a new health regimen during a new moon, especially in Virgo. So when we talk about gut health, some of the stones that are great to wear is snowflake obsidian, and I have a bracelet here of snowflake obsidian, and then I also have a polished stone of snowflake obsidian, and you can see it's black, but it has these, it's what they call a snowflake. It has these like white kind of like marks in it, and it's just beautiful. And so that is said to help the intestines. So if anybody out there has intestinal tract stuff, snowflake obsidian is your stone to wear. Okay, I wear a lot of it. It is also a protection stone because it is dark. You know, it is obsidian is a good general protection stone. But if you want the added benefit and the added bonus, don't just get black obsidian, get snowflake obsidian, because that is definitely the stone of Virgo when you talk about gut health. Okay. Another stone that is wonderful for Virgo is moss agate. Okay, and I don't know if you guys can see that here. I have a beautiful little round stone here, moss agate. And so when you think about moss agate, you know, you want to talk about that grounding, green, you know, nurturing energy. Virgo is an earth sign. We can't forget it's very earthy. And so we talked a lot before in previous broadcasts about grounding and earthing and being outside and raking the leaves. It's starting to get into, you know, fall and autumn, especially here in Vermont. And so this is about grounding yourself in that beautiful moss agate kind of thing. It also it has dark, kind of the dark sort of, I don't know if these are technically called inclusions or what they're called, but the dark markings. So that's grounding. This is a very grounding stone, and it's great for the heart chakra, okay, because of the green color. And so that is definitely good for Virgo. And another stone that is good for Virgo, and I just talked to you about how Virgo is associated with healing and health, is lapis lazuli. I think that's how you call it, lapis. And so lapis is so beautiful. First of all, I have this wonderful lapis bracelet. And so lapis is great for healing, intense healing. So anytime this is a stone that I tell people often is not great to wear like all of the time. In fact, I've noticed when I wear like a lot of lapis like near my head, so if I wear like a lapis necklace, I get headaches from lapis, and I get headaches from malachite. I know that's maybe sounds a little crazy, but it's considered a strong stone. Okay, so this is great for surgery for somebody who's like recovering from a major thing like a heart attack or cancer. Or anytime someone gets surgery, I always usually, like a person close to me, I usually give them a lapis, either stone or a bracelet or some kind of thing, because lapis is great for if you have to have surgery. But again, this is also throat chakra. Okay, so Virgos have a really hard time sticking up for themselves. Oh my God. That tends to be a sign, and I'm sorry because I know there's Virgos on here, and I'm going to just say it tends to be a sign that's a little passive aggressive, because Virgos like just love to serve. It's a sign of service. Okay, Mother Teresa was a Virgo. Richard Gere is a Virgo. Like Bernie Sanders is a Virgo. Okay, there's a lot of Virgos just like to quietly serve. It's not like a big flashy, kind of astrological sign. It tends to be a sign that's more reserved. And so you guys got to learn sometimes to stick up for yourselves, and you get that throat chakra going. That is good for lapis. Okay, so that's your Virgo stuff. So we can think about how we can be of service to others during this new moon as well, which is a wonderful thing. And so you want to write out your new moon manifestation list. Okay, so remember, you're going to write all the things you want on the list. You leave the how they come to you off of the list, and then you're going to fold it up, put it under your pillow for 2 weeks. What I like to do is reread the list and then burn or destroy it on the full moon, which is going to end up being it's the harvest moon, by the way, and that's going to be on October 1st. I love that song, Harvest Moon. I'm drawing a blank right now with the artist name. But anyway, so yes, that's going to be the new moon. So if anybody has any new moon manifestation questions, visualize what you want. Make it good, juicy. The full moon is when we release things and we're letting things go, and we're done with those things. We want to release those things. I don't put as much energy and effort into the release as I do the harvesting, because that's something that, you're going to be. Neil Young, yes, thank you. Neil Young is harvest moon. And so that's the thing. You want to make that new moon juicy, because we're planting new seeds for tomorrow. Okay, so that's a good positive thing. I have so many comments here. Okay. Will the new moon have any effect on the fires in California? I feel the fires in California are going to continue on, unfortunately. And I talked in previous episodes where the lines and I can show you next week, as the lines on the map of Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto are all off the coast of California, Oregon, Washington. And that is kind of what's creating this contentiousness. And this is not, I hate to say, but this problem is not going away anytime soon. I don't have great news for the West Coast, because as those lines move more and more inland, okay, to California and Washington and all those areas, they're going to be feeling the effects of those hard planetary things. I mean, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter's not as hard, but Jupiter makes things big. So, I mean, ugh, yikes. We don't want those fires to be that big, but that's basically what's happening. Okay, so I have a lot of questions here. Naomi said Sagittarius husband is a Leo. Yes, that's a great matchup, actually. Lori said she wants more plant-based health. Amen to that, sister. That's the way to go. Healing comes from plants, for sure. Olive said, I haven't been able to connect with the earthly physicality because of smoke from fires in Oregon. Ooh, you can't go outside long. Would moss agate be useful? Yes, absolutely, for that connection. It's another way of connecting. It for sure is. Should this be putting focus on Virgo type qualities? For sure, Jacqueline. Yes, and again, wherever Virgo falls within your own astrological chart is where we would want to be focusing. It just depends on where that is in your chart, or how Virgo kind of affects you. So maybe you don't know where it is in your chart, but maybe you know that you get along really well with Virgos, or that Virgos are a good match for you because you're like a Taurus or you're a Capricorn. So all the earth signs will definitely feel this: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and then also the other mutable signs. Okay, so Virgo and Pisces and Sagittarius and Gemini are all the mutable signs for this new moon. And so if you know that you maybe, I don't know, don't get along very well with Virgos, this new moon might be contentious for you. I mean, that sometimes new moons can be contentious because, again, it's just highlighting a point in your chart. If you don't know the point, but you happen to have noticed, 3 people I know that are Virgos I don't like, or they don't like me, or I don't get along well with them, then you know that might be a contentious point in your chart. Versus if Virgos are your favorite peeps and you love them, then you'll know that this will be a better new moon for you. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. Jackie said Mars and Libra, haven't ever had a romantic connection with one. You're a Virgo. Is Gemini a good match? Well, interestingly enough, Gemini gets along really well with Mars and Libra for sure, because Gemini and Libra are both air signs. But Gemini and Virgo don't get along quite as good, even though Gemini and Virgo are both ruled by Mercury, but you guys behave differently, even though your thing is your ruling planet is the same. Okay, so cool thing is that I'll start with some good news. Okay, good news is that we have the sun is actually going to be forming a trine, a positive trine to Pluto today. Okay, the sun in Virgo formed a trine to Pluto in Capricorn. And then on Thursday, on the new moon, the sun's going to form a positive trine to Saturn. Now, that again is another reason why this particular new moon is going to be very, very good for starting a new habit, starting a new savings account, starting a new health regime, you know, like you're going to go for a walk every day, or you're going to, you know, I don't know, do cathartic writing in your journal every day, whatever that new thing is that you want to harvest for the new moon, especially if it's like a new habit or some sort of a new thing, especially a health habit, is going to be a great day to start, because the sun is going to form a trine with Saturn, and positive Saturn things are also very good for starting new habits and different things, because Saturn gives us discipline, and you know, if we need a little discipline, that's good. You know, I mean, it's not always a bad thing. Now, kind of the Debbie Downer news this week is that we have some squares going on. Mercury is going to form a square with Jupiter also on Thursday, and then Mercury is going to form a square with Pluto on next Monday. So that's going to be when I talk to you guys on the broadcast. Mercury right now is in Leo, and so Leo doesn't get along great with Capricorn either. It's almost like this whole thing is about what gets along with Capricorn? Is it good or is it bad? You know, because Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Pallas Athena are all in Capricorn. So it's like what gets along or what doesn't get along with Capricorn. Leo doesn't really get along too great with Capricorn. Sorry. So there might be some communication issues, especially on Thursday and Monday. I would say even later in the week, just as a general later in the week guideline, watch your communication, because that can be definitely, Leo likes to be in charge, and so does Capricorn too. So that's another one that likes to be in charge. Who's in charge? And Leo tends to be ego. So somebody could step on our toes with ego, and we got to always, you know, kind of watch that and keep that in check. So it's a thing. Jan said Scorpio and Virgo friends are great. Yes, Scorpio and Virgos get along wonderfully, typically. Somebody on this broadcast I know would disagree with me. I won't say who. Jane said rebirth, Sun trine Pluto today. Yeah, Sun trine Pluto today was a rebirthing day. I wrote about that on my astrology updates by Gretchen page. But yes, Sun trine Pluto is a rebirthing day. Catherine said you're a Pisces with Pluto and Virgo. Yeah, that's opposite. So yeah, the opposite sign, I'm glad you said that. The opposite sign of Virgo is Pisces. So if you are a Pisces and all this Virgo energy is going on, especially the new moon in Virgo, that might oppose you, and that might be a little contentious too, just to let you know. That can be a thing. Okay, so I'm going to pull cards. So if anybody has a question, please feel free to post below. I'm going to start with pulling a collective card for everybody that's watching this broadcast, either if it's recorded live or pre-recorded. And I'm going to say, what do we all need to know from the angels, from the spirit guides? Everybody always asks me, so I'll make sure that I post this, but This is Healing with the Fairies Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. This might be out of print because all of Doreen Virtue's cards are pretty much out of print at this point. But people always text me and ask me, what was that deck you used? So that's the deck. Okay. So I am going to pull a collective card. What do we need to know? Ooh, oh no, all of the cards fell like a huge, huge thing. Okay. Luckily they all stayed together in a clump. Okay, good. All right, so there was a lot of energy. If I know a lot of people on here play with their own cards, okay, just to let you know. If you start shuffling a deck like I just did and cards start flying out everywhere, or they kind of jump, like when you like kind of shuffle them and they're kind of jumping around, that means the question you have has a lot of energy behind it, but also the answer could have a lot of energy behind it too. In other words, it's something that has a lot of energy. If you shuffle the deck and they're kind of dead and nothing is jumping and it's just like it feels dead in your hands, that means there's not much happening. And so, like, sometimes people will go, hey, am I moving? And I can tell them already just by the way the cards feel. It's very like nothing. Like, no, the cards are just dead. I'm like, this is not feeling like this is going to happen for this person. Where if somebody says, hey, am I moving? And then you shuffle the cards and they start jumping out, falling all over the place, that means there's a lot of effort and energy that is going to be taking place. So I'm going to pull one card, okay, for the collective. What do we all need to know about this week ahead? What's the most important thing for us to know from the angels, the collective guides, and our spirit guides in the universe? Okay, what do we need to know in this week ahead that's beneficial for everybody? Okay, oh good. Positive expectations. Boy, I need some of that. How about you guys? Having some positive expectations. Okay, that's a beautiful card. It means that, okay, I will say this. Sometimes with cards, or sometimes with Virgo does tend to be a little bit more of a pessimistic sign, I will just say. Because Virgo's job is to nitpick and to figure out all the flaws and the details so we can make it perfect and we can perfect it and make it like the best it could be. So in order to make something the best it can be, sometimes we have to look at what's wrong instead of looking at what's right. And a lot of my Virgos, I'm telling you guys to make have a gratitude journal or make a gratitude list or say out loud every day, I am grateful for, I have gratitude for. Have positive expectations, because a lot of times things work out. Studies have shown it's like 90% of the time stuff works out. And so just please remember to keep it positive instead of having it be like that negative kind of look and the negative outcome, because with all this Virgo, and even Capricorns can be a little bit like that. They can be a little bit like, having that discerning, like, well, this isn't right and this isn't perfect and we got to make this better. Well, that's looking at things in the negative instead of in the positive, focus. So it's great to make things better. It's great to work on self-improvement. It's great to strive to be the best. But sometimes you just have to accept, hey, I'm not perfect and it's all good, this is just how it's going, and so let go of the perfect, So have positive expectations. Things are going to work well, and we're going to be having a really good week this week. So that's excellent. Okay. So Jackie, what do you need to know for the year ahead? Girl, that's a whole reading. Okay. That's like not just one card. Sarah said, I need a card of my career. And Pisces having a major problem, Leo. Okay, let's look at, let's do one card for Sarah really quickly. What does she need to know about her career? There's not much activity with that shuffle, by the way. Inner child. Means you could be triggered at work, girl. Okay, inner child means that you have to love yourself. You have to love your inner child. You can see she's nurturing a little teddy bear there. Only you are going to love you, and you need to heal up some patterns in yourself. You need to heal up some childhood patterns. You need to heal up some stuff, okay? Because you might be getting a little triggered at work. I just kind of keep feeling like it's more of like almost like a psychological thing versus a like where's my stapler problem at work. It feels more of like feeling good enough. Okay, so I really want you to dig deep, because only you is going to nurture you. I know we always want everybody else to nurture us and make us feel good and make us feel loved. That would be wonderful, 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 and I hope that human evolution gets there someday. But we're not always there, and we don't always nurture each other the way we could or should. And so the key is to nurture yourself, Sarah, okay, and to feel good enough, and remember to refill your own well, okay, because people are drinking from your well and you're not filling up your own well. Or I use the teacup analogy a lot of times. Some people are drinking from your teacup, but you're not filling and refilling your teacup as often as you need to. Okay, so let's see here. There's so many questions right now, so let me let's see. So much self-care, so much of you recovering so they can take care of themselves. You have no time for me. Yep, Sarah, that's exactly it. So I hope that helps, girl. Remember to drink from your own, to refill your own teacup. Oh, thank you, Jane. Jane said, Gretchen is a real deal. Get a reading from her. And thank God your case was dismissed, and that's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Maggie said Virgos are prone to worry. In fact, that's one of the signs that's most prone to worry. Everybody can worry, but Virgos are like professional worriers. I'll just say that. Lori, you were having a problem at work. Lori, I'm going to pull a card for you for your work. Okay, what does Lori need to know about this Leo situation at work? What does Lori need to know about the Leo situation at work? Need to visualize how you want this to go, girl. I feel like you're doing it. I know that it's hard. You and I have talked. It feels difficult. It feels hard, but I feel like you're doing it. Visualize where you want this to go, okay? Sometimes, studies have shown that if you visualize something, that you'll be able to get it better. Visualize it going through. Visualize them loving you. Visualize you getting everything's fine. We're good. Visualize how you want it to be. Because if, again, it's kind of like that card that I pulled of positive expectations, which was the general card. If we just have our lens like this, like let's look at the negative, let's look at the hard, let's look at, just that lens, then we're not looking at like it, there's other possibilities that could work out. Okay. Like I do feel like, will this work out for Lori? I'm just going to ask really quickly, will this work out for Lori? What can she expect? What can she expect from all this hard work she's doing? Dreams come true, girl. Please, 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 Lori. Think positive, girl. Okay? I hope that helps. Okay, so I'm going to pull one more card. Sheila said, I always look forward to our Monday night dates. Thank you so much, Gretchen. Oh, you are welcome. And I love doing this for you guys. I started doing this back when COVID started. I'm going to keep doing it. Please, everybody, take good care of yourselves, because I'll just tell you what. This fall and going into election time is crazy. Okay, just letting you know. This election period is nuts with the astrology. I'm not talking about just the election itself, which will be crazy. Okay, I think this is going to be kind of a mixed up poop show, if you will. We'll just say that, okay? Tina said, you're the best. Oh, Victoria said, this is so great. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys really make my night, too. You guys always tell me how you guys enjoy this, and I enjoy doing this for you, and I look forward to the Monday nights as well. Okay, so let me just, I was going to do something for somebody here. Who was this? I was guided toward, Lynn Washington. Okay, let's do a card for you really quickly. You're starting over. Wow. What does Lynn need to know about starting over? Yeah, if you tag people, Jane, whoa, look, did you see? Card fell out here. If you tag people, if you put the @ sign and then a person's name and it like tags them in the comments, they'll know about the broadcast and then they can tune in. Oh, Lynn. Parenting and children. Okay, Lynn. I feel like this is kind of similar to that inner child card that Sarah had gotten. Parenting and children. Like, I feel like you are starting over again. I feel like you have maybe not a literal child, but a baby that you want to give birth to as far as like a business or as far as school or as far as some kind of a thing that you want to bring to the world, you're birthing to the world, Lynn. I feel like that's like your gift to the world. You're birthing something and you're bringing it to the world. Move forward fearlessly, okay, Lynn? Because you're going to bring your baby to the world, okay? I don't feel like it's a literal baby, but I feel like it's like you're bringing something to the world. Like it is a business or school or some kind of an idea or concept that you're like birthing and it's coming, literally kind of coming out of you. And so I hope that that helps, Lynn. But move forward fearlessly because I feel like there's a lot of like, I don't know how to do this or I don't know how to do that. Within this concept of whatever it is you're doing, like let's say if it's an online business, like you don't know how to do a website or you don't know how to do a YouTube channel or whatever thing it is, but you're gonna learn, okay, and maybe hire someone or get an intern or talk to people that know, watch instructional videos. Don't let those little things stop you. That's what I'm getting. Like, don't let the little things stop you, like the minutia of what you need to do. Just get into it and you'll pick up steam and pick up momentum. Okay? I hope that helps. This is so cool. Yes. Oh, Lynn said yes. That's very good. Monica said this Monday meetup is guidance from above and from my big heart. Yes, thank you. I love that. So thank you everybody who joins me live. I love this. Please send me a direct message either through Facebook or through my cell phone. Texting is really probably the best through my cell phone, which is on my everybody says don't do that, but it's all over everything. So my cell phone. And please enjoy yourselves this week. Set your positive intentions for that new moon because the new moon is going to be very powerful in Virgo. 7 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday morning is the big new moon. Make sure you watch your communication towards the end of the week and remember to set positive expectations because we have good habits and good things that we can start this week and we can start laying really good groundwork as long as we don't let that Mars retrograde interrupt and our flow and interrupt our energy levels, okay? And if you need to rest. Mars retrograde is a great time to rest actually because again it's about how do we manage our energy. So if you need to take a nap, just take a nap. All right, everybody. Namaste. I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you all next Monday night on the 21st. Okay. Good night.